The story of Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor who authorized the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, remains one of the most haunting tales of moral conflict and tragic downfall. It's a story filled with political tension, religious conflict, and the moral struggle of a man caught between his conscience and the pressures of power. Before we begin, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss our deep dives into powerful historical stories. Pontius Pilate was the fifth Roman governor of Judea, serving under Emperor Tiberius from around 26 to 36 AD. He came from the Roman equestrian class, a social class just below the senators, but still part of the powerful elite in Rome. While details about his early life are scarce, historians believe Pilate rose to power through connections and loyalty to Rome, as was common in the empire. To understand Pilate's actions, we have to understand Judea under Roman rule. In 63 BC, Rome conquered Judea, turning it into a province under strict Roman control. For the Jewish people, this foreign rule was an insult to their faith and freedom. They were heavily taxed, their religious practices were often disrespected, and rebellion was always simmering under the surface. The Romans were polytheistic, worshipping many gods. Meanwhile, the Jews were fiercely monotheistic, refusing to bow to Roman idols or symbols. This clash often led to protests. For example, when Roman emperors tried to place their statues in Jerusalem, riots broke out. Groups like the Zealots emerged, fighting to push the Romans out, sometimes through violent uprisings. Pilate's job was to keep the peace, collect taxes, and enforce Roman law. He had the power to judge crimes even with the death penalty. But he also had to navigate the fragile balance between Rome's demands and the Jewish people's religious sensitivities. Unfortunately, Pilate was known for being stubborn and sometimes ruthless. He ordered soldiers to disguise themselves as civilians and kill protesters. He once used temple funds to build an aqueduct, infuriating the Jews. These actions made him deeply unpopular and put him under constant pressure to prove his loyalty to Rome by keeping order at any cost. When Jesus was brought before Pilate, the political and religious tension reached its peak. The Jewish religious leaders accused Jesus of claiming to be king of the Jews, a threat to Caesar's authority. Pilate questioned Jesus and famously asked, "What is truth?" but found no reason to convict him. His wife Claudia even sent him a message after a troubling dream, warning him not to harm Jesus. Yet the crowd outside was growing restless, demanding Jesus be crucified. It was a Passover tradition to release one prisoner to the people. Pilate offered them a choice: Jesus, whom he found innocent, or Barabbas, a known murderer and rebel. Shockingly, the crowd chose Barabbas. Pilate tried one last time to persuade them but failed. In an act that has become a symbol of avoiding responsibility, he washed his hands before the crowd, saying he was innocent of Jesus' blood. But history never let him forget. After Jesus' crucifixion, Pilate continued ruling Judea. But his brutal methods made things worse. He ordered the killing of Galileans during sacrifices. He crushed a Samaritan movement searching for sacred artifacts, actions that pushed the people to file official complaints to Rome. These complaints finally reached the governor of Syria, who reported Pilate's misconduct to Emperor Tiberius. In 36 AD, Pilate was recalled to Rome to face possible trial for his excessive cruelty and poor leadership. However, by the time he arrived, Emperor Tiberius had died. The new emperor, Caligula, one of the most infamous rulers in Roman history, decided not to reinstate Pilate as governor. From there, Pilate vanished from official Roman records, and his final fate became one of history's great mysteries. Early Christian historians like Eusebius wrote that Pilate was exiled to Gaul, now modern-day France, where he eventually fell into disgrace and took his own life. Others argue this story was part of Christian tradition to show that Pilate faced divine justice for his role in Jesus' death. Roman historians like Josephus didn't mention his suicide at all. Some modern scholars believe Pilate simply retired in shame as a former Roman official, living out his days forgotten by the empire he once served. The name Pontius Pilate has echoed through centuries, not just as a Roman governor, but as a symbol of moral cowardice and the consequences of political compromise. His story reminds us how fear and the desire to please the crowd can lead people to betray what they know is right. Even his simple act of washing his hands could not cleanse him of the choice he made that day. So what do you think? Was Pilate simply a weak man trapped in political chaos? Or did he bear full responsibility for sending an innocent man to the cross? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing what you think. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our next deep historical dive. Thank you for watching.